Hello, everyone. Welcome to um, Stitching in Embroidery Studio 2025. And I am Clark Collins. And if you have any questions during my presentation, please don't hesitate to ask the question in the questions box. And I have people on the line answering questions as you put them in. So without further ado, we're going to start. What we're going to do, what we're covered today in my presentation is stitching outside the box. So I'm going to show you some things with the lay down stitch, and not the traditional lay down stitch that you're used to, such as this. This is what the traditional, most people do it with lettering, put the lay down stitch behind it and everything. That's the traditional way. I'm going to show you some things to do it without doing it the traditional way. I'm also going to show you some creative ways to utilize the virtual decoration aspects of Embroidery Studio. And I'll also show you some creative ways to do smart design with program splits, and with auto digitizing without Corel, and creative patterns that are standard in designing. Now, the program splits are standard in designing. They're not in decorating though, okay? I do want to show you that all attendees will receive a free design, and all purchases from the virtual trade show will receive a free design pack if you purchase before the 23rd, which is this Friday. And we also have 2 raffles going on. Purchases this week's purchase by 5/23, okay? Raffle number 1 is the winner will receive a free digitizing tablet, and that is a fabulous thing. And the second one is you'll receive a free seat, and we do those trainings in Cleveland, Ohio, and Atlanta, Georgia. The next one being in Cleveland, the week of June the 9th. So that's a $400 value for the on-site training. Now, if you have any questions after the class or the presentation, please don't hesitate to call the sales number. It's 877-657-7500, or email software sales, that's plural, at wilcommamerica.com. So let's go ahead and start showing you what you can actually do with some fun stuff, okay? So like I said, the traditional lay down stitch is, and let me just go ahead and do a traditional one for you. Traditional one, I'm just going to use the word Wilcom at 1 inch, and I'm going to make it red, and I'm going to put this on a black towel, okay? So I want to do the lay down stitch so it will smush down the terry cloth, okay? So the lay down stitch is this icon right here. You select it, and now you have 2 options. You can either offset the shape, and that's what I usually do 99 times out of 100. And I usually offset it about 1.5 millimeters. Now, notice I am in inches, but I typed 1.5 millimeters. I have no idea what that is in inches, but if I tab, it converts it to inches for me. Just know you can convert. And if you use millimeters, you can convert the same way. You just have to type the inch symbol, which is the quotation marks, the double quotation marks, and it will convert back and forth, okay? I'm going to hit preset, but I'm going to put this on a black towel, so I'm going to make it black. And I'm just going to leave all the standard defaults, and I'm going to preview. And you can see that it actually puts it behind there. It's really close. It's all connected into one. I can see in the color object list, it's one object. Do I need the hole for the O? I think I do. So I'm going to actually click include holes. I'm going to click OK. And there is the traditional lay down stitch. Okay. And this is great for, like I said, towels, beanies, polar fleece. It's fabulous for that. Okay. This, oh, and the best thing, I know it's 8 months. No. Yes. No. 7 months till Christmas. Okay. Almost 7 months. And this is perfect for stockings. Put that lay down stitch behind the name, and you don't have to put the solby down. It smooshes that fur down. It's great. Now, that's the traditional way to use the lay down stitch. And it doesn't have to be lettering. I could actually do, let me just open a file. Let me open this one. This is a very small one. You can actually select, I just need this one though. So I'm going to hit the lay down stitch on this, and I'm going to hit that is fine. That is fine. Click OK. And you can see that it puts it at the first, and it makes it so it works for designs and lettering. So just don't think it's just for lettering. Okay. But now I'm going to show you something that you can do totally out of the box. Okay, we're, like I said, we're stitching out of the box. So let me find which one I need. This one. So let's say we want to put this on a towel. Okay, and I want to actually make the flip-flops the towel. So they're going to poof out. Okay, so we're going to actually put this on, let's go ahead and put it on a light blue, this light blue towel right here. So we're going to change the background color to, I think it's this one. That's close enough. So what we can do, this is a vector object, vector symbol. I can click on the A and all this and everything. So I'm actually going to click all of these. And I don't have to click the lay down stitch. I can actually use the fill type in your fills toolbar. There's the lay down settings. Okay, so all I want to do is hit this, boom, and it is now a lay down stitch. You can see it did it a little bit too much, so I would actually go in and edit that. But what we can do is, and I want to make this the same as the towel. So we're going to put this on the towel. So there we go. You'll still be able to see the letters. Okay. So what I can do, and I'm not going to do all of them, but what you can do is go into reshape. And it did it in separate sections. So I needed to, hold on. I don't know. There's the, what is it doing it that way? There it goes. Okay. So I'm going to delete this icon or this node and move this node up here. Delete this one. Make this one a curve. Oh, look at that. Perfect. And then I would move this one right here and delete this one and this one and move this one like this and add another one right there. And now we've got the B the way that should be. Okay. So I would do that for all of these letters. Okay. And then I want this piece, which is the top of the flip-flop, I want it not to sew anything, because that's going to be the towel, okay? So you'll see the actual blue of the terry cloth, okay? But you would want to do this. Now, I want to show you this. You can see this object here. If I move this, notice it is a solid object, okay? It's not just the red that you're seeing. So what I can do actually is, in designing, you have these wonderful tools called shaping tools. If I select this object and this object, okay? So I've selected both of those vector objects. And I'm going to go into my shaping tools, and I'm actually going to flatten. With an offset, I don't really need an offset, so I'm going to hit 0 on that, because I'm going to hit flatten. And now you can see that this little piece right here is now just that. And that's exactly what I needed, okay? So now I'm going to show you how to easily digitize this without actually going around it like it is. Because it is a vector, I don't have to go to Corel. I can do it in the program, okay? I'm actually going to hide this so we can see just this, okay? So what I'm actually going to do, the easiest way to do this is turn it into a satin stitch, because that's what I want. And now I'm going to add, see, it's a complex fill. It turned it into a complex fill. And that's not what I actually want. A complex fill, its definition is 1 stitch angle. I want this to be turning. So with it selected, I'm going to hit my stitch angle tool, and I'm just going to hit the enter key to suggest stitch angles. These are the ones I would have picked. I'm going to hit enter, and now look how beautiful that is. Gorgeous. Let's just make it blue. Let's make it the navy blue. It looks better. And I would do the same thing for the green, because you can see the green, if I move it, it's a very large. So again, I'm going to select the top of the flip-flop and that green and hit my flatten. Now remember, these tools are only available in designing, and they work with embroidery files as well as vector files. So now I have the green 4, and let's see how much I've got. See, I don't need any of this green. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to select the orange and that green and flatten that. And now you can see I have this piece right here. And I need to actually flatten this one too. So select this one, and hit flatten again. And now I think I just have what I need. Yes, I have just exactly what I need. And there's a little bit of green here. Might as well go ahead and do it. Again, like I said, all you have to do is make this a satin stitch. Now, I will show you this, okay? There are tools, automatic digitizing tools in the Wilcom that are built in. And decorating and designing have them, okay? If I did like I did this one, and all I did was select the object, which is that green, and hit satin stitch, you'll notice that green is now gone, because it converted the vector automatically to stitches. It's no longer artwork. If that's okay with you, fine. But if you would prefer to leave the actual vector there, you can do this. You can open your automatic digitizing tools, which are in the very first icon, looks like a pencil with a thing if you have something selected like that. But I'm going to actually open these up, and I'm going to use my turning satin object and click on the green, and boom, did it beautifully, and I still have the green vector. So it's up to you which one you want to do, okay? Again, I'm going to make this blue like I had the other one. And now I'm going to weld these together. And I'm going to weld these together. And now all I have to do for this one is that turning satin. Boom, done. Boom, boom. Well, hello, come on. And notice it picks up the color. So it automatically does the color for you. So let's just go ahead and make that yellow like that one. And now we need to do these. Now I'm going to see what we've got here. That's a little large. So I'm going to actually just make this about like that. And I'm going to do a satin stitch. But I want the satin to be in that stitch direction, and I'm going to make it the yellow, and I'm going to put it prior to this one. So now we've got that, and I'm going to do the same thing for this one, but let's see what we've got here. And that's a little large too, so I'm going to minimize that just a little bit and make it a little shorter. And then and I can also do this. I can hit the stitch angles right now, and I can go here. And it does the same exact thing. It made it a satin stitch, and I want to make it the yellow as well. And I want to sew it right there. So now we have our flip-flops. And all it's going to sew is what you see here. Now let me bring everything back. And again, I would have taken this out. I'm actually going to open up the one that I did. This is the one that I've done, that I've created the actual thing. I put the line here. I'm not real sure if I like it, but we'll test it, you know. And I do want to show you that I have stitched this out, okay? But I a print of this, okay? And this is where the virtual decoration, some of it comes in, okay? So we're going to go to File, Export, or Capture Virtual Decoration Bitmap. And I'm going to do a 600 DPI. Most printers tell you that 300 or 360 is fine. I just go ahead and do a 600. And I'm going to click OK. And I'm going to put it on my desktop. And I'm going to call it Beach 1. Okay. So now, I unfortunately don't like the way that the lay down stitch looks in the actual, and let me just show you this. It's this one right here. This is the PNG that I just made. Not really liking that there's open spaces here like this, okay? So what I can do is I can go back over here to ES, and for print, instead of the lay down stitch, I'm actually going to do a curved fill. So I'm going to go to Tatami. And I'm going to take the underlay off, which is off, and I'm going to make this 2. That's perfect. And I'm going to use the Florentine effect, which is the curved fill. Now I'm also going to do my trapunto to make it force those around the edges. And now what I can do is I can right click on this and make current properties current, and then select all the rest of these and right click and apply current properties, and boom, they're all beautiful. Okay, so now let me save this one. So we're going to go to File, Capture Virtual Decoration Bitmap, and we're going to name this one Beach 2. Now this one I like better for the print, but it's still not got the, it's still got some open stuff. Don't like that. So now what I can actually do, and what I usually do, is I select all of this again, and I go to my offsets, and I create an outline, and I do color number 2, and I want to do a run stitch. We're going to click OK. Now I need to sew this properly, sequence it properly. Let's see where the B is. Hold on. There's the B. So we're going to go this, then this, then this, then that, then the E, then the A, C, H, 1, 2, 3, sequence by select, and now it's sewing properly. Now we're going to save this again. We're going to call that one Beach 3. I'm going to show you the difference. Now this one looks beautiful because it's all got the nice clean edges. Everything's beautiful, okay? So I want to show you what we did. One of these is sewed and one of these is printed, okay? This is actually the sewed one, and you can see the lay down stitch and the flip-flop that acts like the towel. The towel is the flip-flop. This one's actually printed, and it looks like it's stitched on this towel. Same exact towels. No difference in the towels, the same towels, but this one is printed, and it was a direct to garment printer that printed this. But you could send that transparent PNG that we made to and do a DTF, and it would give you the same results. Okay, now I'm going to actually show you some other ways to utilize the lay down stitch. Now this one right here, I think it's this sailboat I love. It's very simplistic, but it's on a white towel. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to change the background to white because we're going to put this on a white towel. Okay, now this design is 6 inches tall, and I'm actually going to let the terry cloth show through to be the quote unquote sails. So I'm going to select all the black and just hit lay down stitch, and it's going to convert them all. Notice there's no more black in the vectors because it converted it, and I'm going to make those white because it's going on the white towel. Okay, now you won't want this because this piece was separate and this piece was separate. So I'm going to grab both of them and weld them together. Now they're one. Okay, now I'm going to move this little guy because this is going to be my sail, and all I have to do to this is to hit Tatami, and I'm going to change the stitch angle to 90 degrees, and make it yellow, and I'm actually going to go in here and randomize this so it's not so uniform. Okay, now the bottom part of it, I'm actually going to move this so it's lined up. I don't want it that abstract. So all I have to do with this is I'm going to select my object, which is a vector object, and I'm going to hit my program split. Now, again, like I said, this is only standard in designing, okay? You have to have designing to get these program splits. So I'm going to click on program split, and I'm going to make sure that it's going in the stitch direction that I want, which is good. Oh, yeah, let's leave it there. So, and we're going to make it this teal color. And then I'm going to choose, because this is a ship or a boat or a sailboat or whatever, I'm going to choose rope. Look how cool that is. I'm going to do the same thing to this one. Hit that program split. Turn it to the blue. And then we're going to choose the rope. And there we have sailboat. 6 inches tall, less than 10,000 stitches. And again, the white on white, it would smush down the terry cloth. You'll see the sails fluffy like the towel. You would see the mast or whatever that is, the sail, the top thing, and then you would see the actual pattern for the actual boat itself. And that's another way to utilize that lay down stitch. Very fast, very easy, looks fabulous on a towel. Okay, I have another design. This crab is so simple. Okay, again, I'm going to select all of the black, make it a lay down stitch, and I think it'll turn green probably. Yeah, it'll turn green, but I want to make it black because we're going to put this, we're actually going to make this, let's make this on a maroon towel, okay? And you don't have to actually do anything with the actual claws or the body because it's all going to be towel. So this one is also 6 inches wide, less than 5,000 stitches. Looks fabulous, tone on a towel. They'll see the crab, the body of the crab, and the claws will be that terry cloth. So you'll see what it looks like. And I do have a sample of what it actually looks like. I did this is the terry cloth. So you would see the turquoise terry cloth peeking through there. And I made this, instead of turquoise, I made this a beachy color, sandy color. But you could easily make it the turquoise to match this. So it would be tone on tone and you would still see it. Another very simple one is this one. Again, grabbing all that black, hitting that lay down stitch. We're going to put this one on that cream color. So I'm going to make this green a cream. Looks good. So if I hide the artwork, that's what you would see. And you would see that terry cloth popping through there, and you would have the impression. Again, less than 5,000 stitches. Already did that one. We did that one. We did that one. This is the one that I actually did. Now, this one is really good. You're going to just, this is really stitching outside the box, okay? This is a design that I absolutely love. It shows the spiral tool or the spiral fill very, very good. So I created a high-res transparent PNG by going to File, Capture Virtual Decoration Bitmap. Again, that's what I did. And let me just go ahead and do it. We're going to call it Spiral Bird. That's fine. Now I want to show you what it looks like. This is what it looks like. Okay. And I actually printed this. Now y'all are not going to believe this. I printed this on faux tattoo paper. And I made a tattoo for my arm out of this print. So you can actually utilize those transparent PNGs to do crazy things. And when I did this, I actually created, I was doing it for a show, and it was right before Cinco de Mayo. So I had a bunch of sombreros and stuff like that. And you can make large tattoos like this one. You can make smaller tattoos, and it was very easy to do. You just print it with an inkjet printer, and then you have to put this special paper on it that you get, and cut it out, and then peel that transfer paper off, and then put it on your body, and then wet it down and leave it there for 30 seconds, and then just slide the paper off, and you get this tattoo. So that was, like I said, stitching way outside the box. I do want to show you something else that you can do with the lay down stitch as well. I'm going to create a monogram, and I'm going to select one of the monograms that's standard in the program, which is called Octagon Monogram. And there it is right there. And I'm going to make it about 3 inches. And I'm going to actually do my sister's initial, or yeah, so E, and her middle name, I know the rest of it. Middle name is H, or her last name is H, and then C, and then I'm going to go back over here to my insert symbol and do, hold on, I got to find the one that I want. Why am I not seeing it? That one. Well, let's just get fancy and do that one. Create text. So now I have this. Okay. I don't want to embroider this. I want something fast and fun and just different for my customers. Okay. So what I can do with this is I can actually make this a vector image right now. So boom, vector. Now I'm going to right click and break this apart. And when I do that, you'll notice that that is not good. So I'm going to select those 2 pieces. I'm going to go back to my shaping tools, and I'm going to hit combine, and it cuts it out. So now I have these 4 objects. I'm going to select all of them and hit my lay down stitch. And again, like I said, tone on tone. There we go, 4,000 stitches, and it will smoosh down the terry cloth and it will pop out so you can see. Now you could do a reverse of this where the terry cloth would be the actual letters. Let me see if I can figure out how to do that. First of all, we want to make create an outline, a run stitch. That's what we want. Click OK. And notice it created one on the outside and one on the inside, and that's what we need. Okay. So what we can do is we can actually fill this in. So I'm actually going to make this, I'm going to fill this in with a fill stitch. Okay. And I'm going to put it at the beginning. And now I'm going to select these 3 and I'm going to go to flatten. Nope, I gotta select this one too. Go to flatten with no. And now I have this piece. So now I'm going to get rid of all the green. And now what I want to make this is the lay down fill. So now I just reversed that, utilizing that lay down stitch. And the EHC is going to be the terry cloth. Now you might want to make this, instead of just a run stitch, you might want to make that one a triple, so that it would, you know, be a little bit more oomphy, because you're going to have the terry cloth around here and then the terry cloth inside. So that is the reverse of what we did before, and it was extremely easy to do that. Again, stitching outside that box. Now this one has even less stitches than the other one did. This one has 4,000 stitches. So can you imagine this on a towel? It would just be beautiful, because you get that EHC popping with that terry cloth. Okay, are there any questions on anything I've done?
Clark, if we wanted to reverse that lay down stitch and maybe apply any of the decorative motifs, which are standard in decorating and designing, is that something that could be done as well?
Yes, I could just select the object and make it a motif fill.
And there's
And I
over
could choose,
100,
there's
yeah,
over 200.
over 200 motifs.
Yep, like if I wanted to make it, let's see, this one, or that one, or this one. Now that one might not sew too well on a towel, because it's going to have too much terry cloth coming out. So you could definitely do the, since it's going on a towel, you could definitely do the program splits. And I could even, if I really wanted to get fun, and I really do, let me just go ahead and quickly do this, and I'm going to make it red so I can see it. And I want these three. And I'm going to bring those over here. And I'm going to go up to the word object and create program split and call this EHC and click OK. And it's going to be too big, so we're going to make it smaller, like about that small. I don't care the stitch wise, I don't really care. I just want size wise. So now I'm going to actually go back, object, create program split. And I'm going to say EHC, and it's going to tell me that one already exists. Yes. Okay. So now I'm going to delete this one, and I'm going to select this, and I'm going to change that pattern to my EHC. And you can see, you can't see it very well. Let's see if I can do it this way and see what's going on. So we're going to hit layout and see what we've got. So I'm actually going to move this one so it's perfectly right there. And then this one's going to be, oops, undo. Wait a minute. Okay, let's go back to layout again. This one's the one I want. Okay, perfect. Now, let's change this. Let's change the actual stitch angle to see if we can see this any better. Ooh. Look how cool. You
Beautiful.
can see how you can see the pattern in there.
And that's utilized with the motifs or
No,
the
that's
custom split
program
pattern.
split. That's program split. That's
And that's
only in
gonna be
designing.
standard for designing in your program
Yeah.
split. Another question just regarding the stabilizer. Do you use a tearaway stabilizer with the embossing monograms, or is one even needed? Solvay, anything of that?
Well, no, you wouldn't need Solvay if you're going to do this because you don't want the terry cloth to be smushed down. It's going to smush it down, especially with the lay down stitch. So you could use a tearaway on the back, but I wouldn't use a Solvay if you're going to just use this as a lay down. Because you just want that smushed.
Okay. I think we addressed all of the questions. If there's any other last minute questions, please feel free to reach back out to us directly. You can reach out to us with either the support or the sales numbers and the contact emails there. We will have a recording of all 3 webinars for today's presentations for Stitch Fest. Those will be emailed to all registered attendees, and you should see that tomorrow. So just look out for that. All righty. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us today. This was fun, and just look out for more of these. We'll be doing lots of more of our virtual trade shows and other webinars from WorldCom America. We really appreciate you.
Bye, everybody.